Hey guys, Mike with Old Iron. Today we're going to do a review on an engine start stand I picked up. I've been looking at these things for a couple years on and off. You know what I mean? I've wanted one. Every time I see a different one, I research it and I look at, the thickness of steel and how it's built and the accessories that it comes with, yada, 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 and the price point. This is the best one I found for the money. And we'll do a quick walk around. I'll tell you what I paid for it. Kind of, because there's a $50 difference. I just can't remember, to be honest. But it's nicely powder coated. The welds, all the welds look really good. That's a little dirty, but it's got the rubberized casters on it. All four of them lock. I like that. If I nitpick this thing, the only thing that could step it up is all the hardware is not grade 8. But quite honestly, there's nothing, the way this thing is built, there's nothing that is load bearing on the bolts anyway, if that makes any sense. This is adjustable for your different bell housings. I also picked up, now this was extra, I think it was 40 bucks extra, but I also picked up like the engine stand piece for like small block Chevys and stuff. You don't have to run with the bell housings. The front up here, it adjusts back and forth like this, plus both the arms adjust in and out. Like I said, these adjust, or these come off, and that bolts onto it. Okay, now, like I said, everything's nicely powder coated. I just started putting this together. These here are the standoff converters for a small block Ford. They're just going to mount in there. All right. These are for your radiator, of course. They adjust. Now, there is not a tray for a battery, but I'll figure that out. I'm pretty sure there's enough room right here, or we might just have a battery box, just set it on the floor in front of it. I did not get it loaded. You can get this thing loaded, which would be your ignition, your switches, if you're running an electric fuel pump or an electric water pump, etc. You can have all your switches here. You got your ignition switch or your start button here. Usually oil, temp, and this one here is for a 2.5-inch tack. That's another thing I'm not 100% hip on, because 4-inch tacks are the most common, except for your monster tacks. So I'll probably end up sticking a monster tack up here, or I just might get a 2.5-inch tack. This is for your throttle. Like I said, I got this unloaded. I think for another $100 you can get the thing completely loaded, which would be the tack, the throttle, all your switches, and your oil and temp gauges. Okay, but I've got totes of gauges. I just don't have a 2.5. I've got the switch panel laying around here somewhere from, I think, the rat, when I took the rat apart. And this ain't no big deal. I think I got one. I think I got a throttle like this laying around too. So that's why I got it unloaded. Not to mention, he was sold out of the loaded ones at the show I picked this up from. So instead of waiting and ordering it and shipping and all that stuff, he had this one here. I just picked it up. All right, guys. Got the switch panel in. I got the temperature and the oil pressure. I mounted the tack up here because I didn't have one that would fit in here, and I really didn't want to tear this up. So I'm going to have to get someone. I might come out here one day and actually widen this and just drop this down in here. Worst case scenario, I got one bolt hole down there. But it works like that for now. I did buy the wrong throttle cable. I got to get a throttle cable for it still. And then I got to wire everything up. But it looks pretty good. I like this panel because I can power that to the coil, and then if something goes wrong where I got to immediately shut it down, all I got to do is go like that. Yeah. Now, I've seen these used on Facebook Marketplace for all the way up to $1,000, $1,200. Used. Homemade used. You know what I mean? I was going to build one. Now, here's the thing. I paid, like I said, there's a $50 difference. I either paid $5 or $5.50 for this. Okay? The standoff, like engine stand mount for small block Chevy, that was an extra, I want to say $40, okay? Please do not take the prices I'm throwing out as the gospel. I'll try to get the guy's information and put it in the comments below. I think he's got a website. Get on the website and double check, okay? Because I was wheeling and dealing with him too. So I got it maybe a little cheaper than what I could have. You know what I mean? Not by much, but still, you know what I mean? If I'm not, it's either 500 or 550 empty, and it's either 600 or 650 loaded with the gauges, okay? This is stainless. It's still got the protective covering on. I'm gonna leave it on there for right now. Now, does everybody need one of these? Nah, man. I mean, if you're just building one motor and you're putting it in something and you're done, you don't need one of these. I've got multiple motors I'm building. We've got a 289, a 302. 289 is going to be the first one to go on here, just to fire off. We've got a small block Dodge. And the nice thing about this, before you drop it in the car, you can get the thing dialed in 100%. To where when you drop it in the car, all you got to do is hook it up, pop the key, and you're on the road. You know what I mean? And for the most part, any internal modifications or stuff you got to change out, it's a hell of a lot easier to do it on something like this than it is to pull it back out of the car or truck or whatever it's going in, doing it, and then put it back in. You know what I mean? It's just, this is more easy peasy. We've also got a small block Hemi that we got to put on here, a couple small block Chevys. So all in all, there's about, off the top of my head, 6-8 motors that are going to end up on this thing. That's why I bought one. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you're planning on getting into drag racing, this would be great. Well, any kind of racing, actually, where you're constantly, you know, modifying and pulling the motor and tuning it and stuff like that. This is a good thing to have. You know what I mean? If you're building one project and the thing will sit in the corner the rest of its life, it's stupid to buy one, in my opinion. The nice thing about this, too, is this has 2 bolts, one here, one there, and this whole section slides out. So you can pop the radiator off and you can pull this out. You've got 2 bolts down here that hold this on, and you've got the 2 bolts right there that hold that on. Now it's designed to where you can take all this off, flip this up on this side. It's even got feet. These are little adjustable feet for it. And you can tip it up like this, and these will all fit back in there to where basically from here to the floor, when it's upright, is the amount of space it's going to take up in your shop. You don't have to have it constantly set up like this. So when it's not in use, it's built to where you can kind of condense it and stick it up against the wall, and it's basically taking up probably about 12, 14 inches of room up against your wall. So that's about it. I highly recommend this thing. I think it's the best built, best options, best design, especially for the money. And if you found one that you think's better, stick the information down in the comments below, and we'll take a look at that one too. But this is the one that we're going to be using. I appreciate every last one of you guys. If you want to follow along for more reviews and different shop stuff, please give it a good old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. We got a couple more reviews going on, and we got some more project videos that are going to be coming up real soon. I appreciate every last one of you guys, and we will see you soon.